everyone who has ever given you car buying advice online has told you the same thing. Buy used, let someone else absorb the depreciation, never buy new because the car loses 20% of its value the moment you drive off the lot. That advice has been passed around so long that most people treat it like a rule carved in stone. The problem is that advice was written for a market that no longer exists. Right now, in April of 2026, buying a brand new car makes more financial sense for more American buyers than it has in at least a decade. That is not an opinion. That is what the actual numbers show when you sit down and do the math. So let us do the math together and let us be specific. The entire used car case rests on one assumption, that used cars are significantly cheaper. And for most of automotive history, that was true. A 3-year-old used car used to run maybe 50–60% of what the new equivalent cost. You gave up the latest features and the warranty, but you pocketed $15,000 to $20,000 in real savings. That trade-off made sense. That world is gone. The average used car in America today costs approximately $26,000. And before that sounds like a bargain, you need to understand what $26,000 actually buys you in the current used market. According to data from Edmunds and IC Cars, the vehicles most commonly available in that price range right now are older, have more miles on them, and are missing more modern safety features than at any point in recent memory. The reason goes back to the pandemic. When new car production collapsed during COVID, fewer vehicles were built. Fewer new cars means fewer lease returns several years down the line. There are now significantly fewer clean, low-mileage, late-model used vehicles to buy. The inventory that exists is older and more worn than the price suggests it should be. Now here is where the conversation takes a sharp turn, and this is the part most channels are not doing the math on. Most people compare the sticker price of a new car to the sticker price of a used car and call it a day. That is the wrong comparison. What matters is what you actually pay from start to finish, including the financing. According to Edmunds and NerdWallet data from March and April of 2026, the average new car loan rate in the United States is 7% APR. The average used car loan rate is 11% APR. Cox Automotive, which tracks real dealer loan transactions through its dealer track software, shows the actual sales weighted average for used car loans in February 2026 was 14.75%. So depending on your credit profile and lender, your used car loan could be anywhere from 11 to nearly 15%. That gap matters enormously when you run the loan to its full term. Put real numbers to it. You are buying a used car for $26,000. You put 10% down, leaving $23,400 financed. At 11% APR over 60 months, your monthly payment is around $508, and you pay approximately $7,080 in interest alone. By the time the loan is done, you have paid over $30,000 for a car that had no warranty, unknown history, and was probably 5 or more years old when you bought it. Now look at what new car buyers have access to right now. In April of 2026, there are over 40 verified 0% APR financing deals on new vehicles from brands including Hyundai, Kia, Nissan, Chevrolet, Toyota, Lexus, Ford, and Volvo. These are deals where the manufacturer pays the interest on your behalf. On top of that, there are over 850,000 unsold 2025 model year vehicles still sitting on dealer lots, and manufacturers are offering between $3,000 and $10,000 in cash rebates to move them. Run the same math on a new vehicle. The 2026 Nissan Rogue starts around $29,000. Take a $3,000 rebate and you are at $26,000, same 10% down. $23,400 financed at 0% APR over 60 months. Monthly payment, $390. Interest paid over the life of the loan, $0. Total cost of financing, $23,400. Same financed balance. The used car cost you $7,080. In interest, the new car cost you nothing in interest. The new car came out ahead by over $7,000 plus. It has a full factory warranty, current safety technology, and a history that begins the day you drive it off the lot. Now, let us talk about depreciation honestly, because the argument deserves a real answer. New cars do depreciate. Kelley Blue Book is clear about this. The average new car loses approximately 20% of its value in the first year. Over 5 years, the typical new vehicle sheds around 55 to 60% of its original purchase price. That is a genuine cost, and if your plan is to sell in 2 or 3 years, you will absorb a painful portion of that curve regardless of your financing deal. But the depreciation argument has also weakened considerably on the used car side, and here is why that matters for buyers. IC analyzed over 950,000 5-year-old used cars sold between March 2025 and February 2026 and found that the average 5-year depreciation rate in 2026 has improved to 41.8%. That means used cars are holding their value better now than they have in years. Better for existing owners, worse for buyers. If a used car is not losing much value, you are not getting much of a discount for letting someone else own it first. The core advantage of buying used has quietly been shrinking, and most buyers have not noticed. And there is more pressure coming. IC projects that ongoing tariffs could push used car prices up by an additional $3,000 in coming months. When new car prices rise because of tariffs, more buyers shift toward the used market, demand goes up, and prices follow. Both markets are being squeezed. This is also not a normal time to be shopping for a new vehicle, and that context matters. With over 850,000 leftover 2025 models on dealer lots, manufacturers are genuinely motivated to move inventory. The days of paying sticker price or above, which were common from 2021 through much of 2023, are largely behind us for most models. Cash rebates between $3,000 and $10,000 are active on select vehicles. Loyalty bonuses for returning customers or buyers switching brands can add another $1,000 to $2,000 in savings on top of that. You have real negotiating leverage right now. That is not always the case. So who should buy new? The math is strongest for buyers who qualify for manufacturer financing deals. Most 0% APR offers require a FICO credit score of 720 or above. The automakers are strict about this, but if you meet that threshold and you plan to keep the vehicle 5 to 7 years, the case for buying new is almost unambiguous when you look at total cost. High mileage drivers benefit from warranty coverage in a way that changes the entire risk profile of ownership. A powertrain warranty running 5 years and 60,000 miles means no catastrophic repair bills during that window. Hyundai and Kia take it further with bumper-to-bumper coverage for 5 years and 60,000 miles and powertrain protection for 10 years and 100,000 miles. No used car at $26,000 comes close to that level of coverage. First-time buyers, particularly younger buyers still building their savings, get real financial protection from a warranty. An engine failure or transmission replacement on an out-of-warranty used car runs anywhere from $3,000 to $8,000. That is a financial emergency. A new car warranty makes that scenario disappear. For years. If you live in a high fuel cost state, California, New York, Washington, or anywhere in the Northeast where gasoline regularly exceeds $4 per gallon, the improved fuel economy of a 2025 or 2026 model year vehicle adds up meaningfully over 5 years compared to a vehicle from the early to mid-2020s. The efficiency advantage is real, measurable, and compounds year over year. Now let us be clear about when used still makes sense, because there are real scenarios where it does. If you can pay cash for a used vehicle in full, you sidestep the entire financing rate problem. No loan means the interest rate gap is irrelevant, and a cash purchase of a well-maintained used car remains an excellent financial decision. If you can find a certified pre-owned vehicle with meaningful factory warranty coverage still active, you get some of the protection of a new car at a lower price. The challenge, as Carfax and Edmunds have both noted, is that CPO inventory is genuinely thin right now. Lease returns from the pandemic era are only beginning to recover, so finding a quality CPO vehicle takes patience and persistence. And if your real budget is under $20,000, new cars in that range have essentially vanished from the American market. Nissan discontinued the base Versa, which was the last new car in the US priced below $20,000 in 2025. Under $20,000 is used only territory, full stop. If the monthly payment on a new vehicle, even at 0%, stretches your budget in comfortably, no interest rate math justifies it. Your own financial stability always comes first. Before you walk into any dealership, there are a few things sellers will not walk you through. The 0% APR deals and the cash rebates are usually separate offers. You typically have to pick one. Always run both calculations. 0% manufacturer financing versus taking the cash rebate and financing through your own bank or credit union at whatever rate you qualify for. Depending on the size of the rebate and the loan term, the rebate plus a competitive outside rate can sometimes beat the 0% deal. Do not assume run the numbers on both. Do not let the conversation anchor on monthly payment. Monthly payment hides total cost. A salesperson who keeps steering you back to what you will pay per month is steering you away from the number that actually matters. How much you will pay in total, from first payment to last? Always ask for the out-the-door price, the APR, and the exact loan term, then multiply and do the math yourself. On the used car side, if that is still the direction you are going, before you buy anything, run the VIN through the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration's free recall database online. Current federal law still allows dealers to sell used vehicles with unresolved safety recalls. That situation has been flagged by consumer advocates and is being looked at by legislators, but it has not changed yet. Protect yourself. The advice to always buy used was built on logic that made sense when it was written. Used cars were genuinely and substantially cheaper. Interest rates were similar across loan types. Clean late model used inventory was abundant. None of those three things are fully true in this market. Used cars are expensive and getting more so. Interest rates on used car loans are nearly double what they are on new car loans in many cases, and the best used inventory is scarce. If you have good credit, a plan to keep the vehicle for 5 or more years, and the discipline to negotiate a fair price rather than pay sticker, buying new right now is not the financial mistake it has always been called. For many buyers who have been told for years that they are being smart by going used, the data says they would actually come out ahead buying new. You have seen the numbers. Now you can decide for yourself. If this breakdown changed the way you think about buying a car, hit like so more people actually see the numbers before they walk into a dealership. And if you want more real-world financial breakdowns like this, not opinions, just data, subscribe to the channel. And if you want more real-world financial breakdowns like this, not opinions, just data, subscribe to the channel. Before you go, tell me this in the comments. Are you buying new or used in 2026? And why? I read every single one.